So everyone fine?
Yes.
Good? Like India says? So yeah, so today the idea is just for us to chat a little bit about the project and for us also to get to know each other and see who's around. We also want to from today on have every week we call the office hours. So it means that for a few hours we are online for anybody to join and ask questions or work together. Basically, we as a team will have always a team meeting every week to basically sync the team about what we're doing, and if the most active participants would be good to join every week, but if it's not possible, then every 2 weeks, fine, yes. And we will also make this open for other participants, so others, even if they are not so active in the projects, they can join us to make questions or what is this project about, or how can I participate, how can I be part of the project. Yeah, and so what we're going to do now is just talk a little bit about each of us, what we do, what we're trying to do with these projects, and then we will be able to have any questions about the projects. Also show you where everything is. So if you want to where can I find this? Where can I find content or information about the project? Where is that? And then we'll have also show you what we already have done. We don't want to spend a lot of time. Okay. So let me just here to Gabrielle. Joins. Not yet. Not so easy. No. Oops. So you also see on the top right corner, there's a live thing. So that means we're recording the video, but it won't be public. Only available to us. So we're doing this just to, we're trying to record everything. So then in the end, sometimes in these sessions, these meetings, there's comes something interesting and we can use for content later on. And that's only that. We will have a link if you want to then check it out. And I guess Gabrielle is not yet able to join. Well, we can try. We can start with the introductions. Basically, what I want is for you to. So everybody's feeling like, can I go bring a tea?
Yeah.
So basically say who are you, a little bit about you, your name, and where are you, and then what is your interest in the project? Like, what do you like, or why you're interested in the project? And that's it. And we'll go through all of us, and then start. You want to start?
Do I want to start? So I'm Riikka. We're right now in Finland. We just arrived a few days ago. Well, right now, I'm only pregnant right now. What do I do and why am I interested in this? We homeschool our kids and we need nature and we need that our work is near where we live, and those are the basic reasons why I'm in the project. Besides wanting to change the world, all of those things. No, but it's niche has always been for our family, or actually for us individually, even before becoming a family, it has been an important place. And yeah, seems like now we're grabbing on it. That's all.
Yeah.
For now.
I can go, and then goes Luisa, and then goes Lois, and then goes Tita. Tita always looks so bored.
My name is Luisa. It's me now, isn't it?
You can go.
Okay. Now that I'm not coughing.
Yeah.
My name is Luisa, and I'm a mother of two. I also homeschool them. I live where I live. I live in Carnaval. And what else? And I'm really bit cold, so I'm going to pass to the next one.
So I'm Pedro. Didn't know yet. And we just started this project. Really need to find for ourselves a few of the things that are important to us, especially like a space to work and to work with others, and of course a space that could fit also other types of people, especially families and kids, because we have them. So it's very important for us that this space has that. Also, the reason of being in Peniche is important for us for all the reasons that Vika said before, but also because of the surf and being nearby the beach. And that has always been our good place for our family. And we have something happening. And we know bro. And that's it. That's my main thing. I'm very ambitious always, so we're right now looking into many different sides of the project and really interested in finding people that have similar needs to us. That's maybe the most important thing in the beginning of the project. So, Lois, you wanna go? You're muted.
Can you hear me okay? Yeah. Sorry, I'm in Paris right now. It's a bit noisy, but so I'm from the Philippines and I'm currently living in France. My husband is French Portuguese, and I'm a travel blogger by trade. But I've started to slowly get into the restaurant industry. My family and I are planning to move to Portugal. So with our little daughter, she's 3 years old, and we're looking for a place of community with people from other parts of the world who love the sea and nature, and who also love to surf. And
yeah, and what is your interest in the project? What are you looking for to happen for you?
My main interest in the project would really be having a community and to really find a place where my husband and I could work and meet like-minded people. So that's the main thing, and also because we're moving to Portugal, so that's very important.
Tita.
I'm Tita. I grew up in Peniche, so mainly in Belial, so that's always been like a second home. And yeah, we like making spaces, so I guess it's another challenge. Yeah.
Who are you?
I'm the jack of all trades at Common. I call myself an illustrator. I don't know if I really am one. I do lots of things, and yeah.
Right. Biel is not yet able to join, so she will continue trying. So a few of the things we've talked about already with a few of you. We have here people with different knowledge of the project and different participations already. And so what we need, what we have made time right now is for you to be able to make any questions, and also understand what your role can be in the project, what you can do today, and hopefully have more people joining in. Today we were counting on also Gabriel and John that are in Costa Rica, the ones who are now trying to join the hangout. They are also very interesting because they're also family, also looking for the same things as us. Very similar to Lois' family with one kid. They also have something interesting, which is the kid is in Ivor, right?
I think so.
I think his name was Ivor.
Something very weird.
Like
7.
7-year-old. And he's in a school called the Democratic School in Costa Rica. It's very interesting. I can send you the link. Or I can share there in project group. And they are looking for moving to interior Europe to be more near the UK because that's where their family is, but still don't want to go to the UK. So they're looking to Portugal and Spain. But one of the main needs is a good school, or at that type of school. And so when we talked about that would be a possibility for us to create that at the space, I don't know if a school, but at least a learning place where all types of people come to learning, kids as well. Then we have Ivan and Katia. They have a smaller 1-year-old.
Or 3.
I think it's 2. We already live in Peniche, and they have a web design company there. And so I invited them to participate, as they can easily be one of the companies that can be a resident in the space. And then we have a bunch of other people that are mostly really good people that can help us in other ways, but they're not going to be users or direct users of the space. They can come for different reasons, but not like being a resident with the project residents in the space of Peniche. And so we right now have a few ideas of how we would accomplish that with a timeline, which we have all the links since today. If you saw in the description of the project, we put all the links for the information about the project, which has basically right now is one Google Doc, which has all the information, notes, and updates that we've been discussing, or other types of notes. We have the Facebook group where you are and where we have all the discussions. So all of that is done there. We also have a chat room for other things. We will invite you there, but it's just just to basically ask people for participation for something. Like, I posted this, didn't get any response. Can you go there and check? We then have a Trello board with the tasks. If this is too much for you right now, you can not go there, but the link is there, and this will be good and useful for you to organize and see what's being done and what you can do. And then just today, Tita created the mood boards where we have links and ideas, images to inspire us, and also to serve as information for us to do the project. So basically, all of it is here. As it grows, basically all the content will be always shared with everyone. It's open to everyone to participate, and it's important for you if it's the first time you're working with us, that to know that all the project is public. So all the discussions are public, all the content is public. The only place where we, besides of course these meetings, and but the only place that we don't, that is not public, are the chat room, which is maybe the safe place for you to, if you need something to talk that you're not comfortable to talk with, or of course you can always private message any of us about something in the project that you don't want to share. Like Lois just sent me her email, and Gabrielle sent me her email to private message. That's fine. But regarding discussion, we want it to be public for a reason. That's we call collab, is a way of working for open projects, and we can have one day, if you're interested, a session about it. But basically, you will learn it while using the project and doing it with us. There's not much more than this. Basically, it's just making everything open and making it possible for everyone to participate. And so, if you want, what we could do right now to help you is to go to the project doc, all of us, and we can look at the timeline, and from there's a few ideas that we can. Actually, I even created. Did I create a link for timeline directly? Sure. Anyway,
it's somewhere.
Yeah, in the group, in the description, there's this link for the documents. And if you can click there, we go there. If you don't find it, just let me know. It's being able to find it. Just shout, even if you're muted. Just to remind you, Luisa, you're muted, okay? In live.
Yes, it's very noisy here, so I have to put mute.
No, but it's good. You can do that.
Luisa is not finding it.
So Luisa is not finding it. So I can put here in the chat if it helps. The link
Okay.
I'm having just tell Ivan he's looking for. How could I share this? Now there's no link.
But why don't you put?
Yeah, because this is a different thing. Like I go here. If I give this, go there. We have someone.
Hi,
Works.
it's Gabrielle from Costa Rica. In Costa Rica. Sorry to be so late. Yeah, lots of technical hitches with Google.
You having someone else?
So nice to meet you. And it's really loud here with cicadas in the background, so I apologize for that noise.
And we have our own noises as well. So sometimes comes kids yelling. So.
Okay.
And Lois is in the middle of a street in Paris.
Louisa is terrible. Don't worry.
Noise everywhere.
The only quiet
Nice.
one is Tita.
Pardon?
I was saying the only quiet one is Tita, the one with the headphones.
Well, nice to meet you all. Please carry on, and I'll just I'm here to just kind of learn about what you're doing, because it sounds really exciting, and yeah, see how we might be able to connect going forward. So yeah, please don't let me interrupt you.
We already did all intros. I'll just show you what with here, then you can make a short intro, just say who you are, what you do, and what is your interests in the project. So here on my side is Pika.
Hello.
Peniche, my wife, kind of partner, Pedro. So then we have Luisa, is the one without camera, talking. Lois is there. Say hi, Lois.
Hi, Lois.
And Tita is in the headphones.
Hello, everyone.
So who are you, Gabrielle?
So I'm Gabrielle Minkley. I am, my partner and I, John, are in Costa Rica at the moment, and we are from Brighton in England originally. We left to go traveling for 6 months and explore with my 7-year-old son, who is at an alternative school here in Costa Rica called Casa Sula. So we kind of wanted to travel and do a little bit of homeschooling, but explore other school options as well. And so we ended up seeing this video online of Casa Sula, and it just looked amazing. So we thought we have to go to Costa Rica and check it out. So we are here until June, and the school here is mainly Montessori and Waldorf inspired pedagogy, that then a team from Ecuador have been working on the methodology for like 30 years and have brought it to this community in Costa Rica. So the school is very closely linked to an eco-village community that we're living in. So there's about 40 to 50 children in the school, and they're kind of divided into a younger group of 3 to 7-year-olds, and then the 7 to 16-year-olds, and where it's all very open, child-led learning, and it's a really awesome place. And my son is just like thriving. Ivor is thriving in it, and it's amazing to see. So he would stay here forever. He's got it all planned out, and we're going to build a house and stay in Costa Rica. For me, I want to explore places closer to home, and John and I fell in love with Peniche when we came last year, and so we were kind of we're on the Facebook group, the World Schoolers, and wanted to put it out there to find out other possibilities in Portugal. And John, I think, has a friend in common with Pedro, and so we happened to find out about your great project, and we were like, wow, it's in Peniche, and it sounds really awesome. So we're at the moment would love to hear more about what you're doing, and if there's any way that we can, I don't know, kind of work together more possibly, and yeah, or even, and also any experiences that you might kind of want us to bring from this community and school here in Costa Rica that might help with any of your developments. And so, yeah, that's where we're at.
So Ivan was able to find that? Yay.
I'm here.
Ivan, we have here Tika, you know, Luisa. Did you meet Luisa last time? No, you didn't meet Luisa.
I don't think so.
Yeah. Lois is there. She's in Paris. Tita, you know, and Gabrielle is in Costa Rica. Can you tell a little bit who you are to the people here, and then why?
Well, I'm actually from here. I live in Baleal, near Peniche. And I've known Pedro for a few years now. We've known each other. We got to know each other surfing. And the first thing we started talking about was what we do and work. So right after we started talking about work, we just connected, and we then after that we connected online. I've been following what Pedro has been doing for the last few years, and always tried to think about a way that it makes sense in my own day-to-day work and day-to-day life. I just became a parent when we got to know each other. I think it was about that time. And what do? I have a company, a web development, digital marketing company in Peniche. I used to be in Lisbon, but we changed our offices to Peniche because I live here since forever. And basically, I don't know how I can, what I can bring to this, but I'm here just in case I can bring something. So that's it.
Good. So just to recap with everyone, because Ivan and Gabriel joined later, what we were going to do, I just showed where everything is. As you saw, maybe in the project group, we just did a few updates there. In the description of the group, you have a few links, and in those links you will find all the information. So feel free to make questions about those, and we don't expect everybody to understand everything, where everything is and how it works. It's fine. We will learn with time. As I was telling before, maybe this is for Gabriel, maybe the one who will have a less information about this is the way we're doing the project. We call it collab. Basically, it's an open way to do projects. So everything we do is the discussion, all the content, the tasks are actually public. So it's just for you to be aware of that, so knowing that. Then we'll have a few other spaces that are not public, basically the chat group. And of course, these meeting calls are not public. This call is being recorded, but it's not going to be public. Okay, so it's just for us to use as content if comes something interesting, or to rewind, or for example, Gabriel wants to show John something, or Ivan wants to show Katya something. We can always use all the content as free as possible. So what we're going to do is maybe helps a little bit is to go to the. I'm going to put here the link to the Google Doc. So we call it the project doc.
I can also share the screen, or you.
Yeah, have that. Yeah, we can do that, but you can also go to the link here. I put in the chat, and maybe you can share it. Oh, even does a small thumbnail in the box in the chat. Is everybody able to open it?
Yep, I've opened it. Thank you.
Louise, were you able now? Yes. Okay. So if you go all the way to the bottom, there's one part which is called a timeline. So basically, a small paper. That doesn't have a lot of information. It's just for us to fill in as we go. So basically, we kickstarted the project in the beginning of February, and then we're having now a team meeting in the beginning of March. And the reason why we're doing this is because we're starting a new phase, and it's related. Of course, we know we started the project. We can't really expect people to work without us. We're doing this 3 months in Finland, and so we kind of organized the timeline around that. So basically, we're going to use these 3 months to work on the concept and strategy for the project, which we don't have any yet. Okay, we know there is a space. We know that the reason or the biggest purpose of the space is to have an impact in Peniche, and all of us have their own reasons, as we already shared a little bit. Maybe Ivan is the one who is a little bit like, I want to help. I don't know yet if I fit in the project, but the others see, I want the space for me to work. Others want to find a way to have the family there as well and be able to do that. Others want to move near to the family and be in Europe. And so what we expect is that the people that join the project as active participants is to find their project inside the project. Basically, is to propose like, hey, I want to do this, and this is what I'm going to promote and work with. And hopefully we create a core team. As I was the other day talking with Lois, we think like 5, 6 people is enough, but if we have more, it's fine. Above 10 becomes really hard to manage, especially these remote projects. But we actually like 6 to 10 people core groups. And basically the core group works on the concepts and is a little bit more active. Each one of us does what they want or what is possible for them. And that's what we, hopefully from today, we can have a little bit more of idea how we'll do that. So during these 3 months, what we expect to do basically is launching the project publicly. And already have defined what is the project, what we're going to do, where it's going to happen, and be able to, with that, create the content and the tools that we will feel comfortable to go, for example, for a meeting with the mayor in the city, for creating a website with the very beginning of the information of the project. Also look for funding possibilities and have at least enough information to fill in funding application. And so what we propose right now to start with is basically write context proposal, and the context proposal has all these blocks of information that we need to fill in, and I think by doing that, and all of us participating, we will be able to build and define the project in a way that we feel it's going in the direction that we want to. Also, we will learn to work together and see if also we're comfortable with each other's, if it's someone who we see each other's working for a long period, because this is not a project for a couple of months. For us, we're looking into this into 5-10 years. And if you look at the timeline, right now, we have a few ideas that we would like to have a first public meetup in the beginning of June. This means most of the people in Peniche know we're doing this, and we're inviting, like, with posters on the streets, come check what is this, come meet us. Already sent a letter for a few organizations, specifically the city. And if possible, already have a few ideas for, if not the final space, temporary space, where we will do like kind of like a promoting, like a hub, even if it's like a shop, window shop, where we would be maybe pop-up co-working sessions. We would, like for 10 people, 6 to 10 people would work there every day or a few days a week, and have all the information there, and then have like open hours during the week where anybody can come and check, ask, chime in. Which would be kind of, we call it like a project room in Peniche. And this is what we would like to achieve until the end of June. And then starting that phase on like building on site in the local community, what is going to be then the final project, which in our minds is very ambitious, but let's see how it's going to be in the end. So besides this, there's 2 other projects that we're working on. We already talked with most of you about them. One of them is the Erasmus Plus investigation project that we're doing with another group, with a few partners from France and Croatia and Portugal. And we're basically is an investigation about new ways of learning for youth. So we're connecting these 2 projects together, and if we get the funding, we get a little bit of financial stability for the team to be for a couple of years doing some work that will permit us have these other projects, which won't bring money for a while unless we find other funding from other sides. Of course, when we open the co-working space, we can start renting. The summer is a good time to start that. We have other ideas like co-living and restaurants. We're looking at Lois there. And so there's other possibilities, of course. And the second project we have, and we're going to start now as well, it's called, it's a TEDx event in Peniche, which basically we would use as a strategy to communicate what we're doing. And of course, find locally who's doing cool projects, and also work as or start our work as a platform for these people and these projects, both local and expats that are doing cool projects. And that's it.
Ben,
we were thinking like November for that, so we're not sure yet.
Just a quick question about the TEDx Peniche. Yeah. Are you going to be using English as a language or Portuguese for the talks, right?
We would say we would use both and have translation for the talks. We know, because it's a very small community, and our experience with small communities, which we have done in the past, is that, like for example, TEDx, the TEDx event where I participated, I organized one in Angola, in Africa, and then I participated in Porto, which is one of the biggest in the world, actually. It's in Portugal. And then I was speaking in another one in a small city where we had the last co-working space. And what happens is that in the small communities, if you start going too strong with the English language, then they will fight you. So we have to be careful with that. Even in the TEDx Porto, they kind of tell the speakers that they have a bigger chance of their video to become, how do you say, have a bigger reach if they use English. But even there, the community, the participants, the Portuguese participants were kind of like fighting it. So it's not a big deal, but it was some. So we have to be always have, and again, TEDx has changed a little bit. Like if the videos that you normally see, maybe the older ones, TEDx in the beginning was a little bit about sharing ideas, the big ideas, and now, and they say that's for TED. TEDx is more about the local community. So what can you find locally that is doing amazing projects? And so can be that you have someone like a foreigner, which in Peniche there is a lot of projects from foreigners. And if they don't speak Portuguese, then they can use English language. But we will always try to propose us. And we can always have one or two really interesting names that come and they are speaking another language, which we have in our community.
And that that applies to this project as well. I think for us it's really important to connect with the local community, but at the same time with the community that comes there for a week or for a month or for a year. So I think it's really important to have both of them side by side.
Yeah.
Not one more important than another.
Yeah, that's what we've done in the past, and what we feel that in a lot of communities, even like worldwide, like we're in Finland a lot, and very rarely there is, unless you're like in the capital, like in Lisbon, there's a couple of co-working spaces that they do a good job in keeping a really healthy balance between locals and remote and people that are temporary during the time. But Peniche, then, our proposal is, hey, we need to create the conditions for people to move there. That's us. We want to move there, even though we lived there for a year before we didn't find what we needed there. So we need to go and create that for us. There's also people that are willing to, they are looking to Peniche as a place to live in, like Lois and Gabriel here. There's people that are already living there, like Ivan, and he can speak about himself, what he doesn't find in Peniche, especially when he lived or worked in Lisbon before. And then we have all these amazing I forgot the word, but this amazing amount of people that are temporary. Sometimes it's not anymore 1 week or 2 weeks. Now people are staying 3 months, half a year in Peniche. They come for the surf, they come for the nature, but they are working remotely for really good companies. They have a lot of to give, and from our experience is that especially the people, either expats that are living in the region or people that are for a certain period, longer periods, more than a month, they feel that they want to participate locally. They want to give something in. And it's very, very hard to do that. It's hard in more organized countries, and in Peniche or in the other cities that we've been working around, is that very hard for them to find a place to go, and how can I join, who there is around, is there projects that I can help, and so we want to create that with the project. Is there any more questions you have, or something that you would like to add? Like, did we think about this, or is this timeline make sense for you?
In my case, I'm interested about TEDx.
Yeah.
I don't know what kind of impact that can have in niche. If the subjects are to be local subjects, I don't know. Just interested in it.
We've done a little bit of research about like what there is people doing, and there is so little information. Like today, Tita was trying to just post videos in our mood board about Peniche. There's so little that you can find, like good quality. Of course, the new tourism projects we know, like Bukubaki is an interesting project. We know that, you know, the Finnish energy project that they're taking, you know, energy from the waves. It's really interesting. There's a little bit of environmental groups that are doing some activism projects going on, but very little like in science, business, and that you'll have to make a really big research to find those. I'm sure they exist. If we found them in Obitus, we'll find them.
In terms of research, a friend of mine is doing algae research right in the entrance of Peniche. How do you call it? Set Match from the university.
Okay.
And there's a lot of projects in research being done there. In terms of activism, I know someone who just made a group about cleaning beaches, and I don't know exactly what it is, but they call themselves an association. They're doing more than just cleaning, but I don't know what. You could just find out.
They seem organized. It's also coming from a foreigner. I haven't met her yet, but we are friends on Facebook. And there's also one project that happened in Sahel, also a foreigner, started a youth initiative because of the kids after school didn't really have anything to do, and they had the football field not being used. So he basically took the kids out of the streets to. This sounds a little bit like Brazil, but it's for me when I went to check, it's real. Like there's kids just sitting around, which is no, you don't know that happens. You think that doesn't happen in Portugal, but it does. And it was a pretty cool project. It ended. He's back in was it Danish? Was it
something like that?
So,
Danish or Dutch.
yeah. But he's already following our project, and he has already sent me a message that he's interested. At least he's planning to come back to Peniche. It's this type of people. They're part of the year in their countries, part of the year Peniche. Some of them are just looking for an opportunity to stay forever or not, or maybe they just the remote or this. Like Lois can talk a little bit about it. The digital nomads. It's a big movement that is happening all the time in Peniche. Right now, you can see we have someone in project. His name is Francisco, and he's very connected with a lot of the people in the Peniche, and he's a little bit of a big name because he's a model and he's very famous in that area, and he also has a work in a big organization in Lisbon, that maybe the biggest, the most powerful organization in Portugal. It's called Gulbenkian, and he works with funding there. But because of his interest, the way he has been collecting basically data and collecting contacts all his life. And from a little bit of brainstorming with him, he thinks there's around 50 to 100 people in Peniche right now that are working from hostels or Airbnb with not the best conditions, but they don't really...
Living here?
Sorry?
Living here? They are working on those conditions, but they are living here?
Yeah. From 3 to 6 months, normally. He knows a few people that are year-round, and they travel a lot. And basically they pay on... Some of them didn't even find a place, or they didn't want to bother to rent a house, because then if you're on Airbnb or a hostel, they take care of all the rest of the house. Actually, Tita's mom takes care of a house from one of these people, which we met. She's really interesting for several reasons. And you met as well, even Natalie. And Natalie is from New Zealand. She's also partner with Joshua, which is the founder of a community that is called End Spiral. And End Spiral does everything that we want to do, basically. We met them a few months ago from another project, and I was inviting him to have a Skype call, and he said, "Hey, actually, my girlfriend," he said in that time, "my girlfriend has bought a house nearby you, so I'm going to spend a little bit of time there." And so he came, and we had a chance to have a meet up with him. It was really, really interesting, and we have this connection now. We have this link with him and with Natalie, and this is the type of people that are around. They have a house nearby. I also know that one of the founders of Linux have a house nearby. There's one big shot, Microsoft, that also has a house. So there's quite a lot of people, interesting people doing things there, and the idea is to also take advantage of that. Like go to them and say, we're doing this. I think this is a good thing to also participate. Maybe we get a few to join in. We also heard about a grassroots project starting a co-working space in a warehouse. Basically, 3 or 4 people, a photographer, a few other creatives, have rented the warehouse and started not really a formal co-working space, but they brought their desks there and they're sharing the rent. So we should also see what they're doing, if they want to join in, if our projects can connect in some way. And yeah, if you let me, I'll talk all the time.
So because I'm catching up on what everyone's saying with the TEDx project, am I understanding that you are setting up the event, you're organizing the event, and then you're looking for local projects and people to speak at the event? And then are you also going to be doing a 10-minute talk about the Peniche project specifically?
Yeah, normally we actually, it's against the rules of TEDx event.
Okay.
Yeah. But the TEDx event, the connection with the TEDx event with this event, it can even be different people doing it. We would like that everybody that is involved in the space project would be involved in the TEDx project as well, but it's a lot of work. Just one project, it's a lot. So we kind of have to have 2 teams working on both projects. But the next project is going to really be a good way for us to show what we're doing with a space project. So basically, when we say a space project, it's not really about the physical space. You know, as we even found out the word to use a month ago, which is called social architecture projects. And basically is creating the conditions for certain behavior in a community to set. And so in the same way as the school project there in Costa Rica is not about the physical school, even if it's amazing or if it's a nice space, it's about creating the community to grow and take care of the kids and all that.
Yeah.
Actually, John gave a really good idea, which was because the school there is looking to show what they're doing and maybe even like share them into different chapters around the world. And we could be one. We could propose for them to come and show what. Actually, they could be in the next event.
Yeah.
So
I was just thinking that there's it is a really interesting model that they have that I know that they're interested in kind of sharing with other people. So we'd really like to facilitate that if that's something that you would be open to. And on the TEDx event, I'm happy to be involved and help. And I do project management, really. I've worked in international development as a project manager for a long time. I'm the kind of, John's the vision, you can see him behind me, he's the visionary, I'm the kind of hands-on one. I'd be happy to kind of help with organising things if you needed that. It sounds really exciting. So you look happy, Pedro.
We're really looking to for people to start finding their ways, like the project. I think I want to do this. I think I want to do this because the project is good and I agree with the purpose of it, and I know how to do this part, and I want to do this part. That's what we're looking for right now.
And not just for people to help us because you feel like it's a nice project. I feel it's more about you yourself. I want to do this because I believe in this, and this is good for me.
If you have something to talk about.
Okay.
Of course, we didn't know much about you yet. We researched a little bit about John. When I talked with him, then I was checking and found this TEDx talk. And then since we share a lot of things about democracy and open autonomy and all that, so we're checking this.
John has he has lots of tangible online presence to be able to see. But my background, I've worked for 12 years in international development and left a consultancy company when we came away to travel, and setting myself up with some virtual project management work, but also just really back in Brighton, I helped a friend who was experimenting with setting up a kind of free school and helped facilitate the kids, and I've done some facilitation in the past, and I found it really inspiring, and seeing the way that the guides work with the children here and how they're so closely linked to the community is it's just wonderful to see, and how, like, as a parent but also just as an adult, seeing these children thrive is wonderful, and it kind of just changes your life compared to the education I was experiencing in Brighton, and the separation of work and life and your children. And I want to move to something different. So, but from a practical point of view, my background is project management. So
nobody wants to.
No one wants to.
Nobody wants to. Not the problem. We actually collab, and our team, the design team, it's when you hear design, everybody things about creativity and innovation and all that. But basically, what we do is management. So, and innovation and design management, as you have heard maybe of design thinking and service design and all that.
Yeah.
So project management is really important, and it's extra important when you have an open project, because if you expect participation from people with very low connection with the project, either you are organized or it doesn't work. People just get frustrated. So it's good to have.
Got to get stuff done. And I've worked on like a lot of innovations kind of focused projects in development. So that's my kind of, so yeah, familiar with design thinking and
that's really cool.
human-centered stuff. So yeah, that's me. And also actually, and also moving forward this year, I'm going to train as a yoga teacher. So John said something about needing a yoga teacher in Peniche. So,
that's awesome.
Yeah,
surfing and yoga go together very well.
Yeah, I'm trying to learn to surf, but I'm not doing very well. John's the surfer in our team, so I can bring the yoga bit.
Ivan and I can help with that.
You have a lot of waves here, so you can learn.
Yeah, well, I managed to surf last year in Peniche, but here in Costa Rica, I'm not doing very well. So anyway, carry on with yeah. That's great to hear about the TEDx. So we can chat more offline about.
It's good that you went into this direction, because it was one of the things that we wanted to do today is to go through all of us, like what we would like to do in the project, or how we see ourselves basically doing it part in the project. So you already helped, and besides, like, for example, I'm a designer, and I have the graphic design and the web design and all those capacities. Besides that, I would like to see, and it doesn't need to be today. I mean, just to start a way of thinking. So in all of us think in this way, and when we feel comfortable or ready to say, "Hey, this is what I'm going to do," please come, because what you're not going to have in a collab project is someone telling you what to do. That's what's going to be sometimes different and even frustrating, because we're used to working in a certain way, and then we come into this collaborative way of working, and there's a lot of learning to do until we reach there. Of course, we're here to help and to guide in many ways, and sometimes even ask for specific things, but we cannot go and say, Lois, because you're going to write all the content for us, or from now on, Gabrielle is doing the project management. It's not going to be like that. Okay? So what I would like to hear from everyone right now, as comfortable as you feel, is saying what I would like to, the part of the project where I see that I want implemented, and that's where I'm going to put my energy the most, and then what you think you could do well in projects. A little bit like what Gabrielle did with the project management. I can start and start the tone, and then you carry on. Okay. So basically, you've heard I'm a designer. I have all those capacities. I've done all of them. Strategy and concepts is my strengths. Is where I like to work the most. But then in the doing, the operational part, I do everything you need, from branding to websites. We at Common, our design team, we have this thing, we call ourselves jacks, the jacks of all trades and masters of some. So we really enjoy this way of working, that we can actually do things that we're not specialized on, but if we need to fill in the gap, we'll do it. So none of us is a trained writer, but all of us write, for example. Social media is our non-strength. Where we suck at managing social media, and we actually lost one of our team members, which he was doing that, and so we'll need help with that.
I think more we try, more we
I think
hate it.
Yeah, we do a good job in creating content and strategy for that, but then the consistency of managing and creating, continuing managing social media is very hard for us, as we are always going to the next project, the next idea. Also, what is the thing in the project that is more important for me? Basically, are two. One of them is the co-working space. So it's a space where I can work and I can collaborate with other people. And as a co-working space, don't imagine just desks and renting desks for people to work on. I'm thinking as well as places to brainstorm, have activities, events, and all that. And of course, the family part. I don't know if it's the school. If it's the school, it's fine. We're happy with that. But we do homeschooling, and we're happy with that as well. So as I was telling John, was really to like, I have to find a school. Lois basically gave us the same feedback, like, I don't want to do it, and it's fine. So I have to find a good school. We actually, I sent John a link, and Lois went with visit the same day as we were there. The school, this Waldorf school, there is nearby, 15 kilometers from Peniche. And it's cool. It's a good school.
Okay.
I don't know comparing it with Costa Rica school, but Lois can give her feedback.
And maybe I can have a chat with Lois.
If there's a group of there's a group of people that are like, the school, we need it to happen, then we're going to support it, and we want our kids to go there. If that doesn't happen, and even if that happens, the space needs to be designed, it needs to be operated in a way that kids can be residents in the space. I don't mean that they come to events. I mean, all the hours that are there, the kids need to be able to be there as well. We've done that in the past in other projects, and it was amazing. We want to replicate that in that space. So these are my two main things. Wants to go next? So many people. You're speaking? Anybody speaking? No. We lost.
Luisa left. Maybe she was feeling sick.
You wanna go?
I can go. So I'm a designer as well. On which fields I have not really been working since I've been making babies for the last 10 years. And that has led us into homeschooling. It was not really something that we thought about before, but at the same time as the kids were growing, it was the most, I don't know even if the most natural way is the right thing. It was for us maybe the only way we could see in the places where we've been living, how we could see us being as a family. And that has led me into learning and, well, I think education, but more of the learning and the unschooling parts. And what do I need from the space? What is where I aim to get into is maybe surprisingly the first time in 10 years I'm wanting to build a community. Until now I've been a little bit like, I'm fine at home with the kids. But this time I kind of feel like I really want to build a community that is, I don't know, like a second family, and offers our kids more opportunities to learn new things and explore themselves and explore what they want to be. And also at the same time would facilitate me doing other things besides just being like this. Otherwise, if we want to go somewhere really far, I'm dreaming of changing the whole niche into this whatever dream world. I'm a dreamer, so yeah. But yes, basically, I'm very happy if we can build a space and community where my family can be at home.
I wanted to ask something. I was reading on the document, something about challenge. Someone else is already doing something like this.
It was the project that I told you about, the warehouse. There's 4 or 5 people that got it. We don't know.
Co-working, or they're thinking about something else.
I think I haven't met anybody. I think, do you know Danielle? Danielle Spiritson?
Nope.
The photographer?
No.
So this does this really cool photography about Peniche all the time. It's actually from Lisbon, and you should check his work. I think
what?
Daniel Espírito Santo. I think he's involved in the project. I'm not sure. At least he knows about
it. But they're just doing co-working, or they're doing something else, or
no, it was just that sharing a warehouse and sharing the rent. It's not. They're not publicly talking about it, or I don't know even if they have any idea about co-working. We just heard about them, and the base of co-working is sharing space. If someone is doing it, and if we're doing it as well, maybe they're interested in joining or not, or then we can communicate in some way.
I already know these photos from him. I know most of the people are in the photos with him. I know them, not him. Yeah, but I was asking this because maybe it would make sense to combine everything.
Yeah.
It depends on what their goals were.
Yeah, for sure. I already know 2 people that can create the link directly with them. And I had the idea of when we were there to go visit them, but it's really underground, so I couldn't find anything. Then I lost the interest for a while. And when we are more defined, we can say, hey, we're doing this. Want to join? Because right now they can be just involved in their own projects and say, hey, when you have a space, let's talk. Right now we pay this much for rent. Will you have similar rents? Can be the only relationship we might have, or they can be inspired but or what we're doing. Do you want to say something about this, your participation? No, you're fine. Still thinking?
Say something about what?
What we were talking about?
Yeah, I was just thinking about who they were, what they were thinking about doing. Because,
yeah. No, I meant...
my perception of Peniche, I've been living here since I'm 9 years old. And in the 90s, Peniche was a fisherman's village.
Yeah.
Period. That was it. Since we got into the European Union, things changed a lot. After the 90s, Peniche died a lot, basically. Peniche is not a passive city. nobody goes through Peniche to go somewhere. Peniche is a destination. If you go to Peniche, it's because you plan on going to Peniche. That's it. That can be a problem and that can be an advantage. It depends on the target. But for example, for me, I changed my company, the office and teams to Peniche, but I never thought about having clients in Peniche. I actually do. I have one hotel and 3 hostels and whatever. But that's the kind of business you have in Peniche. It's tourism, and then there's something like me that I don't even make sense in Peniche. Yeah. But I'm not working for Peniche. I have clients all over the country. So, and that's the kind of people you want to gather. It's people that are not working for Peniche. They're working in Peniche, but in conjunction, they're all thriving. They're helping Peniche to thrive. But even so, I don't see Peniche growing as much as Bolial and Farel. That's why I was thinking about what other projects are there to help Peniche grow even more than just about surf and hostels and that's it. So what else is going to happen? Not just this project, but something else. What else is going to happen? So that's my aim.
What we talked with this, we did this sprint in Stella Maris place.
Yeah.
And we talked with one of the directors there, and what he says is that where Peniche or the region is very active on its sports and associations, especially associations related with old people, and there's really good work with people with disabilities, with CERSI, which is known worldwide actually. And the universities are growing a lot. So especially things related outside of tourism.
That's a strange thing about the university, because, for example, when I went to university, I left Peniche, and I was on the opposite of the nightlife and the university lifestyle and everything else. When I came to Peniche, there was no students, and then when I left Peniche, the students came. So I was always on the contrary of the nightlife, of the lifestyle and everything about the university. Nowadays, I'm not studying anymore. I just live here, and I still don't see a lot of things, except for every time you see a house to rent, you see, we only rent to students. So we rent it during the winter to students, and in the summer we rent it to tourists. So as you can see, I'm always negative about the things I present, because I always see the bad part about everything. So I'm still just thinking about what can be done in Peniche.
Yeah, you know, like one of the things we've worked a lot. We discussed a lot, and we've talked a lot about collab, and with the project in Ovidus that you had the chance to know and a few times. Was when we were working with community and working in open projects like this with a lot of participation from different types of people, is that we as a group to work on these projects, we have to get really good at taking different perspectives and ways of thinking. And when you say I'm really negative or a skeptic, about thinking that, I think we can transform that into a positive thing. Then it always ends up into behavior, like how people behave. Like if you can bring that to the group for us to think about those things and find solutions for them, or at least have them be aware of them, and that's very positive. It's very good. As long as the behavior doesn't become corrosive to the group. Like if you make us feel down or like take us down.
Yeah, ever.
So I think you don't need to be afraid of that. Like bring those, let us think about them, and join us when we're thinking about the solutions. Don't stay at no, this is a negative thing and that's it. There's no way we can.
I won't be a very good still.
Yeah. So I think even if it's that, because you're the only one who is actually living in Peniche right now. Even outside, the other group, the rest, like Carlos, Fernando, Francisco, all of them have something with Peniche. None of them live in Peniche. So I think you can be that. I have this experience living with my family here, even if it's Baleal. But you go shopping in Peniche. You go take care of your stuff there. You go work there every day. You had to rent a place, so you went through all of that process. And of course, with all these years living there, you have family and you have contacts that we can use. So even if it's just that, because I know you're really busy. You told me last time we talked, like, I'm trying to do this with my company right now, and I'll join the project and I'll be looking for opportunities for us. And if there is, there is. If not, you can just give this perspective.
Since we started talking, I wrote 2 emails in English and 2 others in Portuguese. So I'm in my 4th email and I'm listening to you also. So,
like the podcast. This is podcast for Space for Peniche. This afternoon from Costa Rica, France, Portugal. Okay, so you want to say something about your participation? Luisa is there, I think.
She's muted and
I think she's listening to radio.
podcast.
Doing the dishes.
Yeah, I love all of the conceptualization process and all of the idealizing and thinking and concept and all of that. And I can do a little bit of everything. That's just like we said, and also photography and video, like taking all of that. And what else? Drawing.
Taking care of the kids.
Taking care of the kids, yeah, if it's needed, yes.
Okay.
Luisa has to go away.
Ciao, Luisa.
Ciao.
Ciao, ciao. Melhoras.
Okay, so if we don't have anything else, what I was going to propose now is just to look into what is the next steps until next week. So basically, if you all understood, we were going to do these office hours every Tuesday. So from the hour we started here was 4 p.m. So in Portugal, 2 p.m. until 4 p.m. Portuguese time, we would be online. And then we as a group have always in the beginning a team meeting, and you join. Everybody joins as long as they feel they needed to participate. The three of us has committed to participate in those every week, and we have been doing that for a few weeks already. So we kind of use Tuesday mornings to to advance a little bit with the project, do a few tasks, and write a little bit, respond to things. And then in the day-to-day operations, what we do is manage the group, chat there. We have a few tasks on the Trello board. You know that, Gabrielle? Do you use Trello?
I do use Trello. Yeah. I haven't seen yours, but yeah, I do use Trello. So
we
use Trello. I use something else. But
use Trello to keep tasks there, and then we kind of like pick the task, put ourselves in the tasks, and do it. And then right now, what we're doing is kind of, since it has been basically the three of us, we discuss what there is to do, and we say, I'm doing this part, I'm doing this part, and we get on the doing. As we grow in group, or if we add more technical project management with the help of Gabrielle, we can then start delegating and say, hey, everybody, we need someone to do this specific task. Who is on to do it? That's what we've done in the past in other bigger projects.
Then especially, well, whoever is interested in participating in organizing the TEDx Peniche, we have also another board for that.
Okay.
And we're going to separate the projects. We need to do that because of the TEDx Peniche needs a lot of people participating, like volunteers, the community, and also because of the rules of TEDx. If they see the TEDx event being used as a
vehicle for your
they don't like that. So we're going to separate both projects. They're connected, but separate. So we have to manage them separately. It's not very hard.
Also, to facilitate from people who are not participating in the niche projects, in the space project, to be able to participate in this one, because we have some friends who are willing, and for sure we'll find more people who are willing to help us in the TEDx event, but maybe are not for the...
I mean, they are interested in it, but they're not going to be active in the space project. And then if there's a lot of noise, they lose interest. We actually, in the TEDx event, have a really big help, which is, his name is Norberto Amaral, and he's the organizer of the TEDx Port, which is one of the biggest in the world, and he's a good friend. And he said, we already had two meetings with him. He already gave us a lot of hints and things to do about that. So the things that are in the Trello board right now, they are more important, is to do the context proposal. So we're going to start on that. And hopefully next week we already have a basis for that, and then we can ask people to add things. And we should have a workout. We call these workouts. Basically, it's like working sessions about the TEDx Peniche timeline, like what we should do and the tasks for it, all of that. So we were supposed to get a date today, so maybe we can post that in the project. And that's it. Check would be nice. There's two things I would like to ask you. One is check the links and look into the stuff and say something about it. Gabrielle, if you want to look at the Trello and say, why are you doing this way or not this other way, or I have an idea for you to do, would be good. And then the other links is basically the Google Doc. There's a little bit of information, and of course the timeline in the group. There's a few discussions that are there. So something that I would ask from everyone is to do an intro in the project group. Basically say, I'm this, a little bit like John already did. He started it, and Lois did. So we would.
Where do we post Where should we post that?
And in the project group, the discussion group.
Okay. Okay.
Then we can talk there. Yeah.
Yes, and I can put the link for the Peniche
Yes.
fellow.
Yeah. I think we should start the group.
Yes,
Start with that.
that is
Okay.
All right.
making
Well,
the next.
That's good.
Thank you so much.
So thank you. I will look through the links in the document, and then I'll connect with you after this, Pedro, to talk about the TEDx more, like off this call.
Yeah, I
That's
think the best for you would be the best. The way we do is every time you have something in the project group, make a post. And please talk about that. Like, even if it is something small, like I would need more information about this. I want to know how do I do this. And that's how we do it. Okay. Feel free to do that. And if anything you're not sure about, chat.
Okay.
Well, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
Thank
it was
you.
Nice meeting you.
Bye.
So see you next week.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ivan. Say hello
Nice
to
to meet
John.
you. Bye. Take care. Bye.